Okay, so for Chapter 11 homework, which is on the Consumer Price Index, there are a couple of formulas I just want to point out that you'll need to be using. So this is just a good practice for you to see some of the reality of how one would go about, changing dollars in one year's terms into another year's terms. And the reason that we would want to do this is so we can make actual comparisons between different years. That's why we want to put prices always in terms or dollar values, in terms of the same year. So I'm hoping that makes sense. So one formula you're going to need for this homework is turning dollar figures from one year to year two. So we're going to take, say, year one and change it into year $2. So the formula, and again, it's just a mathematical formula that you would use, is to get amount in year $2, you would take the formula, you would take the amount in year $1, and then you would multiply that by the price level in year two and divide that by price level in year one. So on your first homework question, the formula is asking you, I believe, to change year one into year two, and then year one is 1996, and your year two value is 2013. So you're going to use this formula. Then you have another question in Chapter 11. Another formula you'll need to use is percent change in a particular value. Again, it's just a mathematical equation that you will use to find percent changes. And these are good formulas to know for other classes you may take in the future. So to find percent change, you'll take the new value of x, you'll minus that from the old value of x, divide it by the old value of x, and then you'll multiply whatever that number is times 100. And that's going to give you your percent change in a particular value. So we're going to move on now and actually start looking at the homework questions, but you do need these two formulas to do this. Okay, so we're going to go and start doing Section 2 homework, Chapter 11. So we'll click on, we'll go into the Mind tab, we'll click on Section 2, and as we've been doing, we'll select our chapter, so Chapter 11, and we'll scroll to Homework. And then remember, the one you select are the one that counts towards grade, and we'll click on that. And it's going to take us to Chapter 11, and there are, I believe it's 4 questions that you have to do. So as I mentioned before, what you'll need to make sure that you're doing is refer to that brief overview I gave of formulas that you'll be using. So this particular question, or this chapter, is on the Consumer Price Index. So a quick reminder, the Consumer Price Index is just a way of measuring the prices of goods and services in any given period of time. So for example, let's say in a year. So if Consumer Price Index were, for example, to increase, then that would imply that prices have gone up. Now, this particular question, what it's trying to get you to do is look at what happens over time, and if there's a way to compare, say, prices in one year with another year. And there is, and that's what that first mathematical formula was that was given to you. It's just a formula. It's a great formula to use and to remember. So for this question, the way you would want to approach that is, the question is saying, okay, you were born in 96. Suppose your mother received a $100 baby shower gift at your birth. And we want to know today how much it would cost to buy a similar amount of goods and services in 2013. So again, you're born in 96. Your mom gets this $100 shower gift. And so we want to know how much it would cost, or how much it would take to get that same shower gift, but only now in 2013. And then you're provided with the Consumer Price Index in 1996 and the Consumer Price Index in 2013. So mathematically, to get you started on this, is you would want to get this amount into 2013 dollars. So what you'll do is you'll take the amount that you had in 1996, and you're going to multiply that by the price level in 2013 divided by the price level in 1996. So that is going to allow you to find how many dollars it would take in 2013 to get that same sort of gift. So we'll continue on. Okay, this question is just, again, a little practice, and it's trying to get you to think about this idea of what's called unmeasured quality change in the construction of the Consumer Price Index. So remember, again, the Consumer Price Index, it's an index, so it's measuring what's happening to price levels on a certain number of goods and services, and we went over this in class. But it doesn't take into account like changes that might take place. So for example, the cereal industry, they've been known to do this, where they have they put less in their packages that they sell to people. So that's an unmeasured quality change that wouldn't necessarily, or wouldn't be, picked up when the Consumer Price Index is constructed. So as you go through here, you want to be thinking about that. So we'll start you off here. So if we have an increased personal computer purchases that occur in response to a decline in their price, the way you want to ask yourself this here would be, is that an unmeasured quality change? Has the quality of the personal computer changed in any way? And I'm just going to tell you, it hasn't. I mean, it's a response to a price change. So that isn't going to be an example of an unmeasured quality change in the construction of the Consumer Price Index. But how about more scoops of raisin in each package of Raisin Bran? If we're collecting data and we're just getting, the prices of a package of Raisin Bran from one year to the next, we actually aren't taking into account if they're putting more or less raisins into the package. So that right there would be an example of an unmeasured quality change. So that's kind of what you want to do with this. You just want to go through the next three and say, okay, which of these below, if any, or all three, would be considered an unmeasured quality change. So this question is asking you, okay, we have this dozen eggs that costs $1.03 in December of 1980, and we go forward to 2015 and they now cost $2.75. And then it says the average wage for workers in private industry was $7.13 per hour in December 1980 and $21.26 in December 2015. So you're given two separate pieces of information. The first section, or first part of the question about the eggs, is going to be your first set of answers. And then your second part of this question, they really should have separated this out, is asking you for the percent change in wages. So you're going to do the same thing for both of these, only you're going to do it separately. So again, at the beginning of this overview, I gave you two formulas, and this particular formula that you're going to be wanting to use is going to be the percent change formula. So quick reminder, or go back to the beginning of this brief video, you're going to take the percent change in X, which in the first part will be your eggs. So to find the percent change in eggs, it's going to be your new value of eggs minus the old value of eggs divided by the old value of eggs, and then you're going to just times that by 100 so that you get it in percent terms. And then you're going to use the exact same formula for the second part of this question about percent change in wages. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do the new value of wages, you're going to minus out the old value of wages, divide all of that by the old value of wages, and times it by 100. So I think you should be good with that, using those formulas. And then our next question, I think it's the last one here, is asking us about Social Security benefits. So it's saying here, Social Security benefits are increased each year in proportion to the increase in the Consumer Price Index. even though most economists believe that the consumer price overestimates actual inflation. Okay, so this is then a true false. So it's asking you, if the elderly consume the same market basket as other people, then Social Security would provide a decrease in their standard of living. So what the question is asking you here is, or actually go back, what you're told at the beginning is Social Security benefits today are now attached, if you like, it's one way of thinking of it, to what's going on with your consumer price index. So in essence, if everything goes up in price, your consumer price index will go up because it's an index. So everything costs us more. And what the government does today is they will make an adjustment to the Social Security payment that the elderly receive. They'll increase the amount that the elderly receive in response to the increase in the prices of everything going up. So the true false here is saying that the elderly standard of living would decline given that scenario. So hopefully you can kind of see the answer to that. And then this last part says, it's just a scenario. They tell you healthcare costs have risen faster than overall inflation. So this scenario is the costs to go to the doctor have gone up quicker than overall inflation. So with that in mind, and you're still with the elderly, it says if the elderly consume a market basket that includes more health care than other people, then Social Security would have an uncertain impact on their standard of living. So I don't really know what to say here other than I think you should be able to do this. I mean, if the costs are going up quicker than the inflation that's being used to correct their Social Security benefits, you can think of it like that, maybe that helps, then I think you should be able to answer this question. And that would be it for Chapter 11. I hope that helped.